I made this record for you to jam, so use it.
From the theme parks to downtown brick streets, from winter garden to sandy bare feet, everywhere the light touches is our kingdom. We're spilling tea and dropping wisdom. Don't worry about missing the headlines. We're here to help. It's the Orlando Shine.
Welcome to another episode of the Orlando Shine Show. We're out at the downtown bubble today, hanging out over at Conrad, which is this beautiful resort.
It's gorgeous out here,
right?
Yeah.
I knew it was gorgeous because I've been following the plans for the lagoon for years, I think, since the permits came in. And y'all, you just heard Scotty Campbell. John is.
Hi, everybody.
He's too busy. We pulled in the ringer. Scotty Campbell's back, and we also have Chef Ulrich here, who's running the show here at Sophia's Trattoria on the Conrad's campus. How you doing, Chef?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Chef, we're so excited. You guys have been all over the social medias. Everybody's talking about the food. I think I've seen you all over the TikToks because it's probably one of the most spectacular views as well as the food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right? And Chef, what's your background? Where are you from? Did I hear Miami, you said before?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. I got my start into this industry like everybody else, I think, by accident. I was bartending in Boston College where I went to university, and for whatever reason, the line cook didn't show up that night, and I decided that I could do it. So needless to say, a lot of people ate under-seasoned food for 6 months until I realized that salt was an ingredient.
Salt is an ingredient. Yeah, but it's good for your blood pressure to skip it for a little bit.
For sure.
Where were you before this?
Before this, I was working in Miami, working for Michael Schwartz and his restaurant group. I opened up a restaurant called Tiger Tail and Mary, which was located in Coconut Grove.
Yeah.
And before that, I was the first chef for the One Hotels in South Beach. It was the first version of the One Hotels, the first of its concept.
Wow.
Now that's really grown into something special. And I got to that project because when I worked in New York City for 8 years, I ended up working for Tom Colicchio's Crafted Hospitality Group for quite a long time.
Okay.
And so it be known, my chef mentor, who James Tracy, who's the corporate culinary director, knew I was from Miami. And he said, hey, how about you go down to Miami and open a restaurant? I said, that sounds like a great idea.
Were you looking for an excuse to come back to the state?
I was, but I didn't know it was in a hotel until I got here. At least I got down to Miami.
Oh, wow.
So it was an experience and something that got me into working in hotels for sure.
In all fairness, I've been to a lot of hotel restaurants, Chef. This is the least hotel-y restaurant I've been to in a long time.
Well,
it's very resort.
It's resort, and I think for me, when we were coming up with the menu, because when I started here, effectively, I got a concept deck that was alike to a Pinterest board, and I had to do Southern coastal Italian cuisine, and to me, that was more of a look and feel concept than it actually is a concept.
Okay.
So I really kind of just drew into, if I'm Southern Italy, seafood's bountiful, let's make seafood
Sicily,
shine.
Right? That's what I'm thinking, Sicily.
Or Sardinia, whatever it may be.
Okay.
And so I really just honed in on the seafood, making sure that has a focus and a place on the menu, and really having a vernacular of kind of new American version of Italian and using ingredients and vegetables first. That's kind of how I conceptualize dishes. I think of the vegetable or the accompaniment more so than the protein.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where we arrived here.
And it's local produce, right?
It is. It is completely local produce. Our fish come from New Smyrna Beach, except for the razor clams, but other than that,
that's a Mediterranean shellfish, right?
It is. You do find it in Europe. We get it from the Northeast in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So we fly in a couple things tactically, but I would say the main focus is definitely Florida seafood and just what's in season, and we rotate the menu seasonally for that.
And then, but also you have to have pizza, I guess, because people get mad if you're at if you have something to do with Italy and there's no pizza.
Correct. But I think our pizza, honestly, is fantastic. I would put it up against any pizza. I look forward to you trying it later and letting me know. But
I'll let you know. I'm picky, but I'm not shy. So.
No, absolutely. But, we spent months kind of tinkering with the pizza dough, making sure every pizza dough recipe that you find online is it normally does work, but the real crux of it is that it has to work for the pizza oven that you have, and
the humidity,
the heat, how it comes back from heat on the base, and so the pizza oven really dictates how much moisture the pizza needs in order for it to be, crunchy and delicious for when you take it out to the guests.
What are we looking at? Sourdough? What are we thinking?
So it's a 3-day dough that we have, and so it involves having a mother that we keep living, a biga, so to speak.
I've never heard that term.
That's
the Italian.
Correct, a biga, but in reality, we're just feeding the biga on a daily basis, and that does sound funny.
I love it. Does he have a fancy container?
No, I think it's just a good old plastic container.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
Anthropomorphize your doll. You can make it a whole ceremony, feeding her, with a spoon. I'm sure it's very. Then what do you do with the cast-offs?
The cast-off we use for our focaccia as well, and obviously for the pizza dough. So it has a double use, and we go through it every day. So there's not really much left over.
Okay, so what are we looking at? I think I saw razor clams on the menus right now.
Yeah.
Saffron arancini. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I really love the arancini because obviously one of my favorite dishes when I was a kid, because I wasn't that adventurous of an eater, was ossobuco. And ossobuco always traditionally gets accompanied by a risotto milanese, which is effectively risotto that's infused, the stock is infused with saffron. So it bleaches yellow, so to speak. And so what we did with the arancini is that we effectively did an ossobuco with risotto milanese, but the arancini being the vessel, and we have a beautiful ragu of veal underneath that effectively is the ossobuco, and you eat it, and it's a deconstructed version of my childhood family favorite dish that I had, for sure.
I love that you were getting at other restaurants.
Absolutely.
I was picturing your grandma making you ossobuco.
I mean, my mom was a great cook, and we definitely had ossobuco, but it's more of a riff off what I've eaten at restaurants as a child, and when we saw this, it was my chef de cuisine's idea. I was like, hey, how about we just put it in another deliverable, and I think it works really, really well.
A ragu when there's a cold snap in the weather, you can't beat that. That sounds pretty good to me.
Correct.
Okay, and then lentils, of course. Everybody loves lentils. I think you're doing, what's that, with your duck?
We have it in two places. We have a beautiful duck that we age in-house that in reality, it's with radicchio and some lentils that have some cotechino in it, which is effectively an Italian sausage. And, it brings the earthiness of the lentils out. A little bit of fat goes a long way with lentils from the standpoint of just making them more unctuous.
Right.
And I think just the duck just pairs beautifully with it. And we also use lentils for a real vegetarian cauliflower salad that we have. And we pair it effectively with white balsamic grapes, lentils, and Marcona almonds. And it's a really refreshing kind of starter for kind of a lighter beginning to any meal.
This is a little elevated. For Trattorias are traditionally a little bit more casual, right?
Sure. I think we have our interpretation. I wouldn't necessarily at all say that our food is elevated from the standpoint of we don't use tweezers or anything. We're just flavor forward. We do honest food, and I know that'll come out when you try it.
That's the delineation. No tweezers.
No tweezers. Flavor forward, honest food. You had to be there, and then you also do breakfast and lunch, correct?
We do.
Okay.
We do. We're obviously in a hotel. This is the breakfast, lunch, and dinner restaurant for the hotel. Sophia's is so. All our breakfast is Italian slanting. For instance, we do an eggs Benedict like every other hotel does. But we use mortadella instead of Canadian bacon just to kind of make it down the realm of Italian.
I love everything you just said, Chef. And I know you have to. It's only $10 to park here during the day if you're coming for breakfast or lunch, and then it's included in your dinner if you just pull up.
Correct.
It's valet. That was pretty painless pulling up here.
Yeah.
Chef, is there anything that you really want people to know about all this hard work you're putting into these meals here?
Well, look, I think I would tell your guests that hotel dining gets a bad stigma sometimes. We really made a big effort for all our outlets to have a brick and mortar feel from the standpoint of what the menu looks like. It doesn't read like a traditional hotel menu. We really focus on seasonality, and most importantly, I think it's a great outlet for somebody who wants to come to this part of town, that they know they have 3 fantastic food concepts to enjoy while being able to go to the parks or go to Dr. Phillips, whatever it may be.
Chef, you're my expert on the property right now. There's nobody else. You got to answer some tough questions. Do you know much about the lagoon?
I do.
Okay, swimmable.
It is swimmable. It's not heated, so it's not so popular right now.
Okay.
But it's 8 kilometers, I believe. I'm going back to pre-opening days of knowing all the numbers. 16 or 18 million gallons of water, and I think it really gives a great backdrop to the hotel. If you were to arrive during the day, the backdrop of the crystal clear lagoon sits right behind the lobby, and it really concentrates the whole resort from the standpoint of this is where all the food and beverage offerings are, all within the lake. The lagoon. And so I'm going to be corrected for that later.
He corrected himself, y'all. You don't need to. I'm going to edit it. Maybe I'll honk over it so you don't get in trouble.
I appreciate you. But obviously, it's great for kids. Kids, girls do sand sculptures all over the beach. The sand is brought over from Pensacola Beach, so it's super white and fluffy sand. And I know it's been a really great hit for local.
Cleaned by magnets.
Local staycations is a real big thing in Orlando,
Yeah.
and we've definitely experienced a lot of people taking advantage of it.
Chef, thank you so much for. We've eaten up a lot of your time. I know you're running a kitchen. We're going to take pictures of everything that comes out. We're going to do a little video. I'm super excited to see what you guys crank out of this kitchen.
Nice meeting you both. Thank you for coming.
Chef
Thank you.
Ulrich. And that's Chef Ulrich. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Like,
Very eloquent. I understood what he was talking about. And
he had me at unctuous. When he said unctuous, I was
Yeah.
like, that's the guy I want to talk to. Tell me more about unctuosity in your food. Handsome.
he was handsome.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was.
You can tell he makes a fresh, makes some fresh food.
And what a great story coming all the way, from that line cook accident to, dishes I can't pronounce.
Because they're Italian? Is that what it is?
I wouldn't even try.
I love it. Scotty, how's your week been?
It's been an interesting week, but it's about to get better.
You have an
My
exhibit
birthday's coming up.
Your birthday's coming up. There's a new exhibit coming to the History Center.
Yeah, there is. Although just a reminder, my opinions expressed here have nothing to do with my job. But yeah, we have Animation Land will be opening on January 17th, which is also my birthday.
Okay, guys, he just needed to make it about his birthday again. So if you see Scotty Campbell out this weekend, buy him a drink, pinch his butt, tell him happy birthday, right?
Yeah, the usual.
If you're like, what does he like to drink? It's a Grey Goose dirty vodka martini with blue cheese olives is his favorite. And he might even put out after if he gives him a really good one.
You don't have to buy me the drink.
I have to say, at the end of this episode, there's going to be a quick little interview also with John Price, who was the sextant of Greenwood Cemetery for a long time before he then retired.
He retired. Something new he's doing.
Now, he's launched a new crematorium for pets.
Why is that funny?
It's funny. I just love the idea of someone going from human cemeteries to looking after pets. I think it's really interesting.
Gotcha. I just thought you thought it was humorous. Crematoriums just...
It is. Also, the word is funny because you're like,
Is
it's not
it?
creamy. Nothing creamy comes out of there that you're going to want to put on your pasta.
Oh,
you
my
know what
goodness.
I mean? I'm just thinking about pasta right now because we're at this Sophia's Trattoria, which just sounds fantastic. We have so much to get through. There's so many things to
Let's
talk
do
about.
it.
I have to say, first of all, I should probably talk about, I have a long-form piece out right now. It's called Dead in the Water, and it looks at the swan program at
It does.
Lake Eola.
It takes an in-depth look at the swan program at Lake Eola. We should add. Several outlets have reported on this, but you went deep,
went
and
deep.
it's definitely a must read.
I went real
You
deep.
get yourself over to OrlandoShine.com
And give it a read.
and learn you something.
And you know what? I tried to break it up into sections per John's recommendations, just because it is so big.
Well, he likes small bites.
He does like smoke. Not true. If you've ever watched a video of John eating, you know that he's basically a land shark. Yeah, so it's something. If you don't know what we're talking about, I don't know how that's possible, but there was a bird flu outbreak that started mid-December, and they didn't do anything about it until after Christmas, which, coincidentally happened to be when the crowds were dying out from looking at all of the lights around Lake Eola Park. And you can see why I have the emails. I've got some receipts if you want to hear why they didn't tell anybody about it. And it's kind of crazy. And I wonder if other outlets will pick it up after they see all of the things that happened. 27 swans dead at the time of this story, and I know some people are saying they're not dead, they're dying because of the flu. It has nothing to do with everything else. I disagree, and we spoke with some experts, and you can see that a poor living environment, just like with people, will affect your ability to fight off infections. And so if you're already struggling, like some of these swans were, maybe from the overuse of algicide or whatever, it makes it easier for things like this to take them out. And that's kind of what we're seeing. And yes, this is happening all across the country. Yes, it's a seasonal thing. But I just wanted to look at the program as a whole and maybe talk about what that looks like for the future of the swan program. Do we need it? If we're going to do it, should we do it differently? So maybe they're healthier. I don't know.
Maybe.
We're about to carry out a $60 million renovation of Lake Eola. What does that mean for their swan care? And I asked them, and they said they spoke with a bunch of experts. And when they had their one expert right next to me, I asked him if he was a part of it, and he said no, they didn't ask him about it. And so yeah, it's just like, well, then who are you talking to?
It's all in the article.
All in the article.
Go read it. OrlandoShine.com.
She's a chunky monkey, but break it up. Have some dinner in between or something. Watch a movie. Come back to it.
Or a dirty martini. I recommend.
But I think it's pretty interesting either way. And
take a drink every time you see the word swan. And
yeah, some people have called it a courageous piece of journalism.
Oh my God, what's next?
The city of Orlando launched a bike and micro-mobility parking study survey. So if you ride your bike downtown and you have some feelings about parking, share it. Share those opinions. They actually do look at them, at least. I don't know if it actually affects change, but you never know unless you try.
Yeah, no, and it's about micro-mobility, including like scooters. So if you're getting around that way, I believe, if I'm remembering it, it was about the rentals as well.
Yeah,
and
just people who ride your own bike to work. And you're using the urban trail, or maybe you're going to go to an event, and then you're like, there's nowhere to put my bike.
Right, nowhere to put your bike, or perhaps that's some place that's been foolish enough to put bike racks around the corner from the entrance where you're afraid to park your bike.
That's a shout out to Dr. Phillips, I guess. And speaking of bikes, Winter Garden is voting on restricting the use of e-bikes and scooters in city limits. They're not fans of them. They think the youths are going too fast.
Yeah, it sounds.
Right?
I
think is a demographics thing. They're looking at banning anyone from under the age of 15 from operating an e-bike, and requiring helmets for riders and passengers under the age of 16. And then they want to prohibit Class 3 e-bikes, which can go up to 28 miles per hour from the West Orange Trail, which goes right through it, bisects downtown Winter Garden.
Well, they were saying some of them go like 40. Maybe that's a different class than what you mentioned, but
yeah, those are basically little dirt bikes, But at the same time, they're expanding how far you can go with your golf cart in Winter Garden.
So all these kids will just switch to golf carts.
That's what some people were saying. They were like, well, I have kids driving these golf carts and they're crazy. There's no telling them where to go. There's no parents with them. They're just out there joyriding in their golf carts. How's that different from an e-bike?
It does sound like something that needs to get under control for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, just interesting, something to think about. Yeah. Shout out to our friends in the News Collaborative of Central Florida. They just got a $50,000 grant so they can work collaboratively on a big piece about for the election coming up, the big election year. They're going to do some election coverage, and they got some money to do it. And if you're like, what's the collaborative, Brendan? What are you talking about? It's a group of independent publishers in Central Florida, including Central Florida Public Media. They kind of led the charge. Lakeland Now, Ocala Gazette, Orlando Sentinel, Osceola News Gazette, Oviedo Community News, Vox Populi, Winter Park Voice, and WKMG News 6. And I have to say, Bungholer was once part of it at the beginning, but I know they're not a part of it anymore. I'd like to get...
And that's your one mention of that you get to do for this episode.
Take a drink. Every time I say the B word, take a drink. But I'm hoping to get Orlando Shine in there too. I love it. I love the idea of them sharing resources. They give each other updates on people they've interviewed and data.
That's what it should be about, helping each other.
Yeah,
and
on big stories.
Rising each other up. Yep.
Yeah, like that being said, I wouldn't have shared a lot of my swan stuff with them until after, because it's a big breaking story, maybe.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily what that means,
no.
That collective.
It's like for big, like the first time that we all got together, when I was a part of the brainstorming sessions, it was to tackle the new anti-camping bill that was passed, for homeless people. And we wanted to, how can we all work together to get to the nitty-gritty of this?
Oh, I see.
Pool our resources.
I guess I need to read closer in that article. I just thought it was about money. Now they're hiring in
somebody
my defense,
to help.
It said there was money in the headline, so
there is money. It's money.
Okay.
It's to help them do it.
$50,000, I think.
50. I said that.
They don't give each other money.
Start drinking your martini.
This is a delicious martini. Oh, and by the way, this napkin right here, that is not paper. That is a real cocktail napkin. I've never in my life seen one.
Wow.
This is a big day.
You know what? Let's take a break. You can have another sip of that. And when we get back, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. I want to talk about this great Florida cattle drive that's coming up.
Oh, and we'll be eating too.
Apopka, has an update on their Main Street program.
Sad.
All kinds of stuff. And we have some great events that are coming up this weekend. Come on up back after the break. We'll talk all about it.
See you then.
This episode is sponsored by Legacy Life Project, and this one is especially meaningful. Legacy Life Project creates beautifully crafted video biographies that preserve life stories on film, capturing voice, wisdom, and personality in a way that photos or written memory simply can't. Recently, the Legacy Life Project team traveled to Canada to the North Shore of Lake Superior to interview my father, and I was there for the entire process, including filming on location, archaeological sites my dad documented during his career, and some of his favorite places, and it really helped get to the core of some of these stories some that I had never heard, and now they're just preserved forever. And that's exactly what Legacy Life Project does. They help families preserve stories that matter in a way that feels intentional, respectful, and lasting. To learn more or start your own family's legacy story, visit LegacyLifeProject.com. This Saturday night at Steinmetz Hall at 7:30 p.m., the Orange County Library System brings one of the most beloved storytellers of our time to Orlando. Nicholas Sparks, author of The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, and more, will take the stage for an unforgettable evening of conversation about his craft and creative journey. The Lillian Louise Farr Author Series event is this weekend, and seats are limited. They're moving quickly and expected to sell out, so use the promo code SPARKSBOGO for a buy one, get one free ticket offer when you reserve online. Don't wait. Get your tickets now at ocls.org and be part of the conversation with Nicholas Sparks this Saturday night at the Dr. Phillips Center. And bring some tissues, because, girl, The Notebook, ugh.
If you're listening to the Orlando Shine Show right now, you can thank attorney Mo DeWitt.
I sure am thanking him right now. He does so many cool things around town in Central Florida, and I'm just so thankful that he's supporting Orlando Shine.
And if you want to find out more about attorney Mo DeWitt, all you got to do is go to justcallmo.com.
Justcallmo.com. Just south of downtown Orlando, tucked along the quiet edge of Lake Cherokee, stands a house that helped define the city itself. Orlando Magazine takes listeners inside Orlando's first officially designated historic home, a Queen Anne Victorian built in the late 19th century and known locally as part of Honeymoon Row. From its pastel exterior to its 8 original fireplaces and handcrafted tile work, this house has survived more than a century of change, and today it's being carefully restored by an owner who sees himself as a caretaker, not a remodeler. The story traces the home's ties to early civic leaders, suffrage era gatherings, and the origins of one of Orlando's first historic districts. It's a rare look at how preservation and modern life coexist in the heart of the city. Read the full feature now at orlandomagazine.com. Orlando Magazine.
I made this record for you to jam, so use it.
Welcome back to the Orlando Shine Show. Oh, we have food's hitting the table, our leftovers. It's amazing timing. I can snack on that later. We're hanging out at Sophia's Trattoria in Conrad, which is one of the most beautiful new hotels here in Central Florida.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how to describe where it is. It's kind of tucked behind Epcot.
I guess.
Is that what you would say?
But,
Disney Springs adjacent?
It was the second left, not the left to Disney Springs, the next left.
If you skip the left to Disney Springs, you keep going. It's the next left. I've never come this way before. It's a massive new property.
Yeah, sort of secluded right now. Who knows what the future will hold, but right now it's secluded.
A little bowl around it so you can't peep in, but it's just a huge man-made lagoon, crystal clear waters, cleaned by, I think, high-tech space magnets, I think is what I remember reporting on back in the day. And looking out over it is this really hot, it's not like stuffy, just like a beautiful little restaurant looking out over the bay.
Yeah.
In front of some pretty
gorgeous
modern
walls. This looks like they had some artists just come in and actually paint
just like free
on the walls.
Expression on the wall. Yeah, no, I've been very impressed, and the chef has some great staff here. We just mowed down on our first course, which
I am wondering about these hotel rooms that overlook this, because they're like these sheer curtains, and I wonder if you're inside, do you realize how sheer that is? Because if you were naked behind that, I would be able to see you right now.
We'd see everything.
And I am watching.
Oh my gosh! Just to note it, we know this the hotel team's listening now because they all invited us here. Just a little tidbit, maybe let them know that we could see everything they're doing. I could see their latest surgery scar through that. Let me grab the menu just so we can say real quick what we have.
Okay.
So far, we had some lamb ribs, which
were so good.
Orange rosemary glaze, kumquats, and shaved chicory. And you know what? Now that I see
the chicory, that's what that was. It comes through at the end.
Yeah, almost like it was like a cinnamony, nutmeggy thing happening at the end. A little smoke, and gosh, that was just delicious. We had a baked fontina dish, which I didn't touch that because it's a lot of cheese for my body. But
I had it was delicious.
You did a good job.
You do have to be careful because it comes in a cast iron thing, and you can burn your little self.
You can burn your little fingerprints off. But
for sure,
Eric, the amazing server, told us not to do it, so we were very careful.
And
then the fig and ricotta crostino came out, and that was beautiful too.
And you didn't let me have any of that.
I didn't.
It was pretty, but
it's the crusty bread that hurts
your
little mouth.
Was it good?
Yeah, I didn't want you to hurt your little mouth.
Well, I do get. If it's hard bread, it does scratch the roof of my tender mouth.
And Chef really talked up his pizza dough and his focaccia.
It was no joke.
That focaccia is probably some of the best focaccia I've had in a long time. Fluffy, light.
What the focaccia?
What the focaccia did you put in that focaccia? It was aromatic. I loved it.
And then the pizza, you're going to have to say that one. Cacio e pepe.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is?
I'm so Italian.
Do you know what it is?
It's pizza.
Cacio e pepe's like it'd be like egg yolk and black pepper and pecorino romano, and then you would like mix it like some pasta water.
It's normally a pasta dish.
Yeah, and then you put your pasta in, and it just makes it really creamy. But they put that on the pizza, And this dough is no joke.
No, and the
not
he was
paying us
talking
to say
to
all
us
this,
about
y'all.
that, science of the balance of the oven and everything. It was perfect.
Perfect. It wasn't
Perfect.
charred. There was no char on that pizza.
I didn't know how
but
perfect
it held
could be.
up. It folded, but it held up. It held everything it needed to hold. Delicious.
And it's in my tummy now.
Yeah, we're taking it home so I can eat it.
There's
and-
more to do.
Yeah, because I
They're treating us right for sure.
They did say we could get anything we wanted, but we only went for one entree. That's coming out next, and I didn't want to go crazy. They had some like $100 branzino fish, and I was like, we could get that.
It was tempting.
But I wanted to respect them,
Right.
and their chef, and we're
We'll
not worth
totally
$100 fish.
we'll buy that when we come back.
Buy that when we come back. Anyway, headlines. Coming up
Yes.
on January 26th is the Great Florida Cattle Drive, which is an old school reenactment, basically, of the old school cattle drives they used to do.
Yeah.
And it goes to Okeechobee, which is really interesting. And everybody rides horses. They camp out for a week, and with 100 cows. I don't know how many cows, but it's a lot. And it's from January 26th through the 31st. And we wrote about it online. If you want to check it out and figure out where to see them, you might be able to drive
So
over.
how
and
long
catch
have they
some of
been
these
doing
people.
that?
It happens every 10 years. Once every 10
Oh,
years.
okay,
And
okay.
I think it's been happening since the 60s, but I might have made that up. There's a
It's
great
funny.
little documentary.
I've lived here since '88 and I haven't heard of it. So
I hadn't either.
Just shows you there's so much going on in the Central Florida region that you can never get bored here.
I couldn't resist it. It's not even 100. Like, it's a little far for us to pick up. But I was like, nobody's written about this. This is crazy. And it's one of our most traffic stories since we launched.
Look at that.
People were thirsty
Holy
for
cow.
it. Yeah. Holy cattle drive. Y'all might remember, Scotty, you might remember this. There was a mural that happened that the Apopka Main Street commissioned.
Yes.
A young man to paint a design that they gave him. They said, this is what we want, do it. And he did it. And then it turned out that the design had been lifted from somebody, I think, over in Iowa.
Right. Without the artist wasn't aware of that.
Was not aware,
Yeah.
but it even down to the tagline that she had come up with. So when people started hashtagging it, she got the hashtag algorithm, and it showed like, they
Whoops.
stole my artwork.
When social media goes right and yet wrong.
And we wrote about it. They immediately painted over the mural and tried to, allegedly make it right. with
Nothing
the
to
artist.
see here.
The art, I guess they tried to buy off the artist to make it okay. She was like, "That's not even no."
Right.
You're not offering me even enough for me to come and have you painted it myself.
Yeah.
You're crazy. And so they painted it over, and it turns out the city of Apopka was so unimpressed with how they handled the situation, they defunded them. They're just not giving them money. And it looks like they're defunct. I'm not 100% sure if they're going to try to go it on their own.
Right, which you could do. A lot of people don't realize that with main streets, but certainly can they can strike out on their own, and they as long as they can get funding. Now in Apopka,
They were only getting like $5,000.
they were getting $5,000
they
from
were
the city.
getting much.
That's not defunding. That's taking away your allowance. Good grief.
Yeah, so I was like, if they wanted to try to make it, they could, if they were only waiting on $5,000. The black bear hunt numbers are in. This came in actually on December 28th. We didn't get to talk about it since then because it's always been at the bottom of my list, but I kept it in. They had allotted to kill 172 bears. Was what they were like. That's what we can kill scientifically, and everything will be okay according to science that we made up. But 52 is what they actually killed during the hunt.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And but we don't know if that's 100% accurate because there was really nobody out there collecting data and reports of what was being shot.
Yeah, not exactly monitored, which I think happens with hunting around the nation.
And we know y'all love to hunt out here on Real Radio, and so we're not going to dive into it too much. I'm just sharing those numbers so you know what's up. That's what happened. Yeah. And we got some fancy new plates coming because we got the other ones so dirty. We couldn't use them again. The crosswalk paint that FDOT covered up that rainbow crosswalk with and those other crosswalks in downtown Orlando is wearing off, Scotty. So all the dollars that they spent to cover up those crosswalks it's not been successful, and the colors are shining through. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting, and not to mention that the whole act to begin with was unnecessary.
Seminole County apparently paid $31,000 of their own dollars to cover up their crosswalks. We had way more here in Orange County and Orlando. I'd love to see
So
what we
why
paid.
did Seminole pay for their own?
Well, we had to
paid-overs?
pay for ours too.
Oh, really?
But for some reason, FDOT came in and made. They identified some ones that they wanted to pay for themselves. You know, like the Pulse crosswalk,
Right.
and the Rainbow one that goes between that and connects to this.
Right.
The hotel. What's the hospital?
Or that's Orlando Health over
Orlando
there.
Health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like the walk, the memorial walk, and they had painted it in rainbow segments along the way.
We totally can't see through any of that FDOT.
Yeah. So they painted that themselves, but then they gave a list to the city and said, you need to paint all the rest of these yourself.
Yeah.
Blue Man Group has an opening date for its new location on Universal Boulevard underneath the big Ferris wheel at Icon
I
Park.
drive. Well, okay, I getcha. But I mean, that's I drive too, right?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Universal Boulevard, which I think is along the back of
Yeah,
it.
that's
But
the
really,
back
people
one.
are going to know I drive.
I drive. It's underneath the big Ferris wheel, the Orlando Eye. That's where you will find this fancy new state-of-the-art theater that Blue Man Group has
Awesome.
paid for. It's an updated show. I hope they still have that claustrophobic toilet paper finale. You know what I'm talking? It was like
Do I know what you're talking about? I used to work for Blue Man Group, so absolutely. I actually had the privilege of being, I can't remember what they call it, but I got to work backstage for a show. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and then let's run through some events real quick
Do it.
before we have to take a break and go
Let's
to our
go.
interview with Don Price. Central Florida Highland Games taking place this Saturday and Sunday over at the Central Winds Park in Winter Springs. If
Lift up your skirts, boys.
well, I'd be there. Hey, the DeLand Craft Beer Festival is taking place in downtown DeLand.
Oh, yeah.
$40 to get in, 1 to 4 p.m.
Oh, it's at $40.
It is, but you still want to go, right?
I
for your
do.
birthday?
I do want to go for my birthday, yeah.
We're going to go do that. Kelly's Parks Cardboard Canoe Regatta is taking place at Rock Springs Run.
And entering that would be one way of actually getting into Kelly's Park.
It's also going to be freezing this weekend, and they have to be there at 8:30 a.m. to start building their cardboard canoes.
Wow.
Before they race them in the water and see who lasts the longest.
I would have no confidence in my cardboard canoe.
I would make it one of those hot tub cardboard canoes. So
Oh, yeah?
keep me warm.
You're a little more ambitious.
Thank you. That evening, Shine at Fallout Sessions. It's a concert that was delayed because of rain a couple weekends ago.
She's
But
great.
There's a group, a home. These people turned a Fallout shelter in their backyard into a concert venue. They call it Fallout
So it
Sessions.
has nothing to do with the show. There will not be characters
No.
walking around. It
Nothing
has to do with this
that.
Fallout shelter.
Their Florida Key Lime Pie Festival is taking place
What?
this weekend.
Nobody tells me anything.
I'm telling you right now,
Oh.
Scotty. Over at Merritt Island, they have key lime pie contests, pie eating contests, a hula hoop contest. If you eat all the pie, don't get sick.
Oh, you have to eat your pie and hula hoop after?
I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
I think they're two separate things, but they.
Dude,
I'm sure they'll
Well, I
overlap with some people.
I think it sounds like fun.
And then holler at Orange County Library System. They're having their evening with author Nicholas Sparks.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the guy that wrote The Notebook and A Walk to Remember.
Among other things, yeah.
He's doing a talk at the Dr. Phillips
Notebook is
Center.
that's just such a
Yeah.
great story. And all these events you can find at orlandoshine.com.
Go find them at orlandoshine.com. If you're like, how come we don't have how do we get this in our inbox every week? You can do that if you sign up for our newsletter.
Yep.
The Rise and Shine. It goes out every Monday, and I'll have these events in there.
And you just go to the website and you find that at the bottom, or you can go to the Facebook page and there's a way to sign up there.
Yeah, so do it. Or on your Instagram, it's in our bio link.
Orlando Shine, it's news for people who take their carts back.
It really is. Thanks for filling in, Scotty Campbell.
It's a pleasure being here, as always.
Thank you to Chef Ulrich, who walked us through the menu and his background here. Everything's been fantastic. If you're looking for a new fancy date night experience, come here and maybe spring for like a little staycation, sexy evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you
totally
get up early
recommend
enough,
it.
you can swim in the lagoon.
It's very easy in Orlando to pretend you are somewhere else for a
I'll
while.
be honest,
you know,
it's dark enough
and
out
it's right
there.
down the road.
It's dark enough out there at the lagoon. You could probably go skinny dipping. If you're into that. Let's
you
try
just
later.
gave me an idea.
All right. If we don't come back next week, it's because we got arrested. All right, y'all. This is exciting. Don Price, the former sextant of the Greenwood Cemetery, has just launched a new pet crematorium service over in Winter Garden that services all of these local counties. And I wanted to talk to him about what that transition looked like. So sit tight. Let's talk to Don and hear what he's been up to. Welcome to a bonus episode of the Orlando Shine Show. I'm with an old friend of the show, an old friend of mine, Don Price, which some of you might recognize. Don, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Don, it's been too long.
I know.
But I'm glad that I have an excuse to come and see your pretty little face. We're out here in Winter Garden at your new job.
Yes.
It's called, what is it called? Rainbow?
Resting Rainbow.
It's on your shirt.
It's on my shirt. You could have just looked over at it.
At your boob.
Yeah.
At the Resting Rainbow. So if people don't know, John, back in the day, you were the sextant of Greenwood Cemetery, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which you ran the whole city
cemetery that we handled. And Orlando was unique as it only had one cemetery.
Crazy.
Within the city limits.
Uh-huh.
So we had the who's who of Orlando was there, and kind of by default.
I think you and your love of local history is kind of what polluted my brain into even starting to tackle historic. I loved hearing about the history of Orlando through you, and then I started doing my own research because some of yours were tall tales that I needed to make sure that they were correct.
I always say, history is only what we choose to believe.
I like that. That's a good way to look at it. But you ended your tenure there, and you became like a professional sandwich spokesperson for a hot minute, right?
Yep. For Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, because you were friends with
one of the owners, and he sold the franchises out.
Oh, okay.
And so once he did that, then we kind of went. Still very close with him.
Okay.
But yeah, he sold them out. We built them up to a point that they were all profitable, and he sold all of his franchises.
I love that. So that was a blip in your resume. But now, most importantly, here you are at Resting Rainbow, which is a pet crematorium service.
Yes.
Okay.
We do pet memorialization and aftercare. So I went from people to pets.
Which how weird was that for you? Was it weird at all? Did it just feel correct for you?
It felt correct. People love their pets. And a strange story I like to kind of push around at times is I lost my dog Jetta, and my dad in the same week.
Oh my gosh!
So in the same week I lost my dog and my dad. I miss my dog more.
Because you saw your dog every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And the dog would, wag his tail when you got home. The dog relied on everything. Dog slept at your feet. Everything in your world revolved around the dog. The dog, you were everything to that pet.
Did you find when you were trying to deal with that grief, like was it different talking about the grief for your dog versus the grief for your dad when you were trying to communicate with people?
Not really to a point. It gets hard because when it comes to pets, there's a routine. When I take her out before we went to bed, she always went and sat on the couch for about 20 minutes. And then she'd hear her feet come across the floor and she'd climb up into bed. And this was like every single night. And then when that stopped, you're like, wait a minute, what's
the
happening?
Absence of that.
It's the quietness and the absence.
I'll be honest, that's when our last dog passed away. Like knowing that if you dropped something on the floor, you weren't going to hear the
exactly
on the floor as they came up to eat it.
The cheese tags.
Yeah, there was nobody there to collect. No. And that was hard.
You got to bend over and clean it up yourself.
Yeah, so not only did I have to do something, I was missing someone collecting that cheese tax.
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think that pet loss isn't treated the same way as human loss?
Yeah, I do. Pet loss is unique. It all depends on the person. You still have the people that would just bury in the backyard. And then you have people that have such an emotional attachment that they want to keep that spirit with them. And so it's a memorialization. It's very similar. I mean, if you look around this room, We have the urns. We have memorializations. We do.
We're in a very tasteful. Would you call this like a waiting room?
It's like a memorialization room, a
Yeah.
waiting room. We have a room that is a viewing that you pass when you come in, and it's got a window into the crematory.
So you can be as part of the process as much as you want.
Some families want to be there when it happens. Some just want to be there as it starts.
Okay.
Just to make sure that their pet is what they're getting.
Yeah, which you actually have a tracking service, right?
We do. We track just like we do humans.
Okay.
Tell
me more. I know nothing.
You know nothing
Yeah.
about it. Every human that goes to a crematory gets a number tag.
Okay.
It's a round tag, and it's numbered. It goes with them at every step. We use the same exact process, and every pet is barcoded. When we do the footprints, for
Okay.
example, they get barcoded. It sends you an email, and it says, hey, your pet's footprints are done. It's back in refrigeration.
Okay.
If you want nose prints, we scan it in. We'll have nose prints. It tells you every step of the way
Based on what your plan was.
on what your plan. And then when we do clay paw prints, or we do even before we cremate that morning, as soon as your pet's on deck, as they say, as we're ready to go with yours, you'll get an email and a text that says, hey, your pet's getting ready to be cremated. And I say at that point, depending on, you could say a prayer, do a shot. It's.
Do you think part of that came from just because there's so many people who are just disreputable in the industry that
Correct.
maybe, like, you didn't know if you were getting just a bucket of like wood ashes or something?
Correct. There's so much in the industry, human industry, animal industry, where people are concerned that they're not getting the bones back, because at over 500 degrees, there's no DNA.
Right.
So
interesting.
So your DNA disappears.
Okay.
So there's no way of telling after cremation. So some people just don't have that trust.
Right.
We just met each other. They don't trust us at this point. So they will say, hey, do you mind if we watch them go into the retort or into the chamber? And no, we don't mind at all.
What does it look like? Like a little pizza oven?
Yeah,
I know we'll look
I'll
at
show
it. But
you. I'll show you.
We'll do a little video.
It's it looks, it's a kiln.
Okay.
It'll reach up to about 1900 degrees.
Wow. And that's Don Price. There's a whole episode that's coming out, just me and him. This was just a snippet. If you want to know the rest, go over to your podcasting platforms and find the rest of this interview. It's going up this weekend. Thanks, y'all.
From the theme parks to downtown brick streets, from winter garden to sandy bed.